Hello,
Hello.
we are here for another snapshot. How are you, Ian?
I'm doing great. Excited to snap the shot today.
We're going to snap the shot about events. But notice, I think it's backwards. I don't know if it's showing up backwards for everybody else, but it's small events. See what I did? Do you see what I did there, Ian? Small events. They're little small events. We're talking about small events because we all know, I mean, as we're streaming here right now, Dreamforce is next week. The FOMO is real. I'm way over here in Boston. You're right there. You're going to be at all of the fanfare and revelry of Dreamforce. I don't know if it gets a whole lot bigger than that, but that's not the be all end all. Small events, especially now, are, I think, super important and something that you and I have talked about. So I want to talk a little bit about small events in the world of things like Dreamforce and AI and just things getting noisier and noisier. Where do events, specifically small ones, fit in for B2B companies?
I love it. What do you define as a small event?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, first thing that comes to mind with something like Dreamforce coming up is all these little sidecar events. I call them sidecar events, like the happy hours and the dinners. I went to a dinner during Pavilion's GTM Summit 2 weeks ago with a group of 10 people, and it was one of the best experiences I've had in a long time because the conversation was small. So I would say typically, but not always, happens in conjunction with like another event, and it's like less than 25 people. What do
Yeah,
you
I
think?
like that.
What first comes to mind for you?
Yeah, I think curated for sure, invite only for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably in and around 25 is right. It could be as small as 4, 5, or 6, super intimate dinner. It could be something that's like a little bit more, orders and past apps, perhaps some charcuterie.
Perhaps a
And
coffee. I went to a really great coffee Wednesday Women BT Dubs. They go around
sure.
and do these events all across the country, and that was a coffee event. It was
Or
great.
like people do like go do a cold plunge in the morning in the bay. Now that's a big thing. I'm
Oh
not even
God.
joking. That's like for SF Tech Week. It was like I am not going to be doing that. I will be dropping
Mm.
my kid off at school. But yeah. So any small gathering of people, of which probably they're your target buyers.
Mhm.
How many do you feel like you go sales or no sales or what do you think?
I think, well, we're always selling because that's, that we're building relationships and any sale is built on a relationship, right? So I don't think it's sales. You can't show up ready to pitch. You can't show up ready to like close a deal, but you can and should show up with a goal to have the right people in the room or at the table or in the space and ready to have really meaningful conversations that are more about them than about you if you're hosting it.
I like that.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, tell us where do they fit in right now?
I think that they should be if events period are not part of your strategy for 2026, then you're missing something. I think especially small events where you're the host, you are making the invites, you're setting the scene, the feel, the vibe. You're really missing an opportunity to build relationships that will likely not only could turn into like pipeline with the people that are in that room, but the people that they will introduce you to, and the way that they'll mention you in conversations that they have long after that. So you have the opportunity to leave someone with an experience that will far exceed what happens in that room or around that table. So I think it needs to be part of, I would say, every B2B company that we know when we talk to, it needs to be a part of your strategy. Sure, for the rest of this year, but absolutely for 2026.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's probably the highest impact thing that you can do as a brand right now is to do small batch events. It would be number one for me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
um, because it's so damn hard to stand out. It's like so incredibly hard to stand out. And all of the noise that you make on social media, and the thought leadership, and smart videos and smart writing and thought leadership and telling people what's going on with your company and product updates and all that stuff. The point is to get all of that to a point where you can just, talk about it with someone and they have context, right? They're like, one of the cool things at events that I've gone to this year is like, people kind of knew what was going on in Caspian's world, like going on in my world. She's like, oh, I read your newsletter or whatever. And so you're able to sort of have a really good shorthand to get to conversations that you can't have normally, right? And it's
Right.
like that serendipity is really fun, and seeing people that you may or may not know is really important. And it really helps you if you put someone smart on your team in the room, and go to listen and go to ask questions and go to talk about the stuff that you can't talk about when there's cameras everywhere,
Yeah.
and talk about all the stuff that that you don't want to, share publicly, and about the insecurities and about, all this stuff. You start to learn all these different things that are really valuable. Oh, actually, I'm going to be leaving my company. Or, oh, actually, like our CFO said, no fun for the rest of the year, or whatever it is. So I think that it's really, really, really important to use small batch events for that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think too, if it's really easy to see it as just another thing on a strategy or on a list, but I think we forget this is the whole point. Like building relationships with people, getting to know them on a personal level, so that when they do think, "Hey, my CFO said I could do some fun things again," that you're the first person that they think of, or whatever your offering is. That's the whole point. Every ad you publish, every LinkedIn post you publish, every content you turn out there, like everything you do is about relationships. And so these small batch events give you an opportunity to stand face to face with someone and cut through all the noise, because you're having a conversation. It's so simple, but it's so easy to forget because you just see it as yet another thing. But I couldn't agree more. I think it's one of the most impactful things that you can do. And if you can do that several times throughout the year, that's a pretty big impact when we're, it's that, and also trying to cut through the noise in feeds and scrolls and, on a screen. So.
Yeah. On my show, Pipeline Visionaries, we talk about uncuttable budget items, and we talk about cuttable budget items. And when you know it, one of the top uncuttable budget items is small batch events. So this is not just like coming from Lindsay and I, this is coming from lots of CMOs that are investing in this stuff. And generally, when it comes to big events, you have CMOs in two camps. One is events are back, we're diving in. And then the other camp is events are back, but they're also crazy expensive. And like, we just can't afford to do all the stuff that we used to do.
Right.
All the different big events. And really what that boils down to is two things. It's the sponsor prices, obviously the costs for all the ancillary small events, the dinners and all that sort of stuff. And then the headcount of sending like so many people, the T&E of a big event where you're sending 20 people from your sales team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's great because you get to be in front of a large number of people with, and get your message out there. But if you're running your own, and those happen once a year, and this conversation isn't about big events, but I think the important piece here is you can go to the satellite events at the big events, and then people are there to go and learn and connect and do all of that. I think that's definitely a winning strategy, running the smaller events off of, the bigger events.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into like all the details of how that makes it economically viable for big events to exist. But that's a winning strategy. In conjunction with that, having an event series that you run, like a little branded series, something that you continually can invite people to that's uniquely you, is really important. So like we do at Caspian, we do these writers' rooms with CMOs and marketing leaders that are super fun. And it's super unique to us. Like we create fiction content. People, a lot of the people like to have a creative outlet. This is a creative outlet. It's unique to us. And it's something where it's like, you're sort of doing work, but you're also not. And you're also just there to hang out and meet people. Those are virtual events, not in person. I wish they were, and maybe they will be.
Maybe someday.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that having a consistent cadence in your different geos, where you're personally inviting people specifically to those things is really important. And if you're like, well, we do these things and nobody shows up, your event isn't good enough, right? Like the ask isn't good enough. It's too clearly a sales event. It's too clearly product focused. Like you need to have something that they actually want to go do. And when in doubt, just get out of the way. Like when in doubt, just take, if you're like, our events aren't good enough, blah, 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 it's too much of a sales, just take all that stuff out and just make it about, connecting people one-to-one. Hey, this person, I think you should know them. They're going to be at the event. Like, I'd love to have you there.
Yes. Sounds like it's time to make moves. Where's your sign, Ian? There it is. There it is. We're making moves. Okay. So things that people can do if they're like, this sounds great. I think one thing that I'm hearing, and I couldn't agree with you more, is if people aren't coming to your events, they probably suck. And it's the sooner that you acknowledge that, the better. Like, are you wearing do you have like 6 people in a dinner of 15 where like half of you are all like wearing your shirts and you show up with like, there's a screen somewhere? Like, don't do that. It has to be, it's about personal relationships. It's about connection, and it's about them. Like, how can you serve them? How can you help them get what they're looking to get out of that evening, that moment, that event? Who can you connect them with? What resources can you provide them with? You got to have your mindset in that place. Otherwise, people aren't going to show up.
Yeah. My move to make is just to create multiple different types of events. Like, one is a cocktail party with 40 people. One is, or 25 people, whatever. One is a dinner party with 6. One is like a coffee brunch type get together with 14 people sitting in, a few different groups. One has a sort of single prompt and lets people sort of talk. One has a little bit more of a flow. Come up with a bunch of different small batch events and do a bunch of different types of things, because I think that and then of course pull your audience of what they liked and didn't like, because like I went to a cocktail event the other day and it was just kind of a waste of time. Like, it just was the ask of why we were going and what we were going to do. I literally have an event that I'm going to today that I don't really know. Like, I got personally invited to it, and I don't really know what even the agenda is. And so anyways, I went to this event the other day, and it just clearly, what the purpose was just not really a great fit for me, because part of it was like a hiring event. I'm like, I'm not hiring anyone right now, so this just isn't a great fit. So I think just like be very, very clear with your different types, make different types of things. And then you should be running like at least one of these a month. Like,
I totally agree.
And obviously your company could be totally different sizes. And if you're a massive company, maybe you should be running 10 a month in all your different geos. But I think piggybacking off of some events where people are already going to be there, and then also just creating your own net new events that have a specific promise to the audience. If you come, you will get blank. Like, that's what we're going to do. We are coming here to let you talk to each other and get the hell out of the way, or whatever it is.
I love that. And actually, kind of this pulls together a lot of things we've talked about in this series so far, which is niching down. So like, make sure that it's clear who the event is for, because it's a small number. The goal is not to get as many people there as possible. It's meant to get a small number of the right people together. Be really clear about what it's about. Seek to, at one point you said, make one person happy, right? Like, seek to make this group of people feel really seen, and like that was a really, really good use of their time. And the ripple effect of that will be huge every time.
Yeah. My final sort of move to make here is, do not over-engineer the content. Like, you do not need to have a 45-minute speak, like someone speak for 45 minutes for a group of 15 people, and then let them talk for 15 minutes. Like, do the exact opposite of that. If anything, just open with that person being, if that person is such a big draw as a guest, it's actually cooler to just have them engage with a regular conversation. Say, hey, today we're talking about, how CMOs can use hot air balloons. Like, let's discuss. I've used hot air balloons. Ask me anything you want. Like that, I would way rather go to that event than to hear, this famous person talk about hot air balloons for 45 minutes. Like there's plenty of places you can go to hear that type of thought leadership. In person is meant to be question, response on that response, derivation. Like that's the whole beauty of it. I mean, this is obvious, but people still do the same. No, it's, I mean, not apparently not. Like people run out the same exact event playbook of like two people sitting there talking for 45 minutes, open up for questions. Now everybody can have cocktails. Like that is not always the best strategy. There are many different forms of events, styles, types that you can do and be creative. And the more that you help people talk to each other, the better off it'll be. That's where you should be, engineering and scripting.
100%. Yep. Creativity and connection. I'm here for it. So get some small events. Snapshot.
It's a great B2B snapshot.
It is indeed. All right. Thanks, Ian. We'll see you all
everybody.
again next week.
Later.